Hey book community, this is going to be a companion video to the series I want to complete by the end of 2023. Well, these are series I want to begin in 2024. Now, just as kind of a precursor, if I finish some more series, then I'll probably want to start something before the end of 2023. But just as a general rule, in 2024, I want to at least start these series. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one is by Christopher Rocchio. This book is the Empire of Silence. This is the Sun Eater books. I've heard a lot of good about this, and this year I have read the Red Rising novels and loved it. My first really sci-fi books to really get into, and it leaves me wanting more. Of course, we're going to have Lightbringer at the end of July, but then beyond that, probably have to wait a while until we get to the last book. So I've heard so much good about this, and specifically about Christopher Rocchio, and so that is what I want to say. Another thing I want to say as we're moving along here, I probably won't say much about these books because I don't know much about these books. I know that they come highly recommended as far as the others, this and the others I'm going to be talking about. So I'm just going to say how much that I want to read them and I want to start them, and then we'll just go on from there. So the second series that I want to read in 2024 and really putting it down as a priority is the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee. I have heard about this for so long now. I heard so much good about it. I love The Godfather, the movie. I haven't read the book yet. I actually have the book wanting to read it, but haven't read it yet. But I love the movie. I've watched it more times than I can remember. And I'm told that this is fantasy Godfather. Well, I'm hooked. I want to read it. I want to know more about it. And so I've heard so many people talk. In fact, I think there's reads and rereads going on right now. Can't really join in on them because I have a lot else that I need to get read. But I do want to start this in 2023. I already have all the books for it ready to go. So I know that this is a very popular one right now, and I look forward to getting into that. The next one here is series is The Five Warrior Angels by Brian Lee Durfee. Now, if you've been on YouTube for a while or have watched many YouTube, you've probably come across, at least the fantasy side, Brian Lee Durfee. Full of energy, very energetic and interesting videos he puts out. He reads so much. I think he puts out a video a day. And this is his series. I only have the first book of it, which is The Forgetting Moon. I plan on getting the others as time goes by, specifically next year. But look how thick these are. So most of these are going to be chonkers. But anyway, I've been excited about reading this. In fact, I went ahead and actually read the first couple of chapters when I got it. Well, actually, the first chapter when I got it several months back, and very interesting. Seems like good classic fantasy with a twist of modern. So I'm excited about getting to that. This next one, I am almost ashamed to say I haven't read it. If you're a booktuber and you read a fantasy, you've already read this, you've already reviewed this, but I haven't. So this is Joe Abercrombie, Joe Abercrombie, the First Law Trilogy. And of course, I've not read anything by Joe Abercrombie. In fact, my first journey into grimdark fantasy was Mike Shackle's The Last War, which I've enjoyed thoroughly. But I'm told that this is really on Twitter. His name is Lord Grimdark, I think. So anyway, I'm told that this is really good. Gray morality, and so anyway, it's just something that I've had a lot of interest in. I have the first 3 books for this, and that is ready to go. The next one I know absolutely nothing about, other than the author. It just had a new book come out that, again, I would like to read, but I'll probably hold off on that for a while because I have not read his first trilogy, which is the Licanius Trilogy by James Islington. I've heard a lot of mixed things about this, but from one that I listen to a lot, Mike's book reviews, he speaks very highly of it. So it got me excited about it. And so I picked this up and ready to get on to that. Yep, excited about that. Just like the First Law Trilogy, this is another one that may be ashamed to say I haven't read it yet, but I haven't. And that is Song of Ice and Fire. I went ahead and picked up this illustrated edition of it because I said, hey, if my reading experience is going to be, if I'm going to have a reading experience, I want it to be a great reading experience. So George R.R. Martin, Song of Ice and Fire. I've got this one, and I have the second one, actually, the second book. And so I hope to continue to grow my collection of these books, but I want to read these in 2024. Just, again, heard so much great about it. Didn't really watch the show on TV, but do want to check out the books. Then, this is one I've wanted to do for a while. Haven't got to it yet. Very much an older one, but in the Forgotten Realms, this is the Dark Elf Trilogy by R.A. Salvatore. I went ahead and picked it up in this collector's edition. This is just the first one. I know there are many of these books, but at least I want to get the trilogy started, and then I'll move on from there and see where I need to go. But anyway, that's another one that I've heard a lot about. So many have already read these books and reviewed these books years ago. Of course, I guess I'm more new to the fantasy genre than a lot of people are. My journey started last year. Well, a little previous to last year, but as far as being a constant reader, really started last year when I began to read series after series after series. So those are the books that are my priority reads to start in 2024. So I still have a good bit more to go for 2023. A series that I want to complete. This is what I want to start next year, if I don't start a little before next year. So we'll see how that goes. So are there any priority series that you want to make sure you start and finish in 2024? Until next time, go read books.